we doing?
We're about to go to the airport.
I think we should just like press play at the same time.
3, 2, 1.
This is when I left. I remember I left so early in the morning and I knew I wasn't like gonna see Charlie for another 2 months or something. And I had like packed up my life and I remember I was like crying in the car. It was like 5 a.m.
Were you crying on the flight?
No, I think I kind of got over it by the time I got, well not over it, but I got a little bit stronger. These like first 2 weeks of prep. So it was like the week in Toronto and then the first week in Sudbury. I don't want to say I still had hope, but I still, I think I didn't really, I wasn't like fully aware of like how difficult it was going to be like over the next 2 weeks. Like I didn't realize like how much the time would just like slip out of your hands. But I'll see you in a week, I hope. Yeah, and then I'll be giving this to you. Ready to go. Like, you know what it's like when you are like driving north of Toronto, it's like slowly like the city kind of melts away and then it's like all woods.
Yeah.
And it just started looking like the show.
Well, it had the look of where Isla is in the story, you know, like it was that place.
So I just got to the hotel in Sudbury. I'm gonna be here for 6 weeks and feeling pretty behind, though already I know the next 2 days we're gonna be scouting, so I'm gonna be basically in a car that whole time. I don't know, I kind of like it here.
Would you sort of just shoot it as is? Ah.
I don't understand.
Here, down as well. Like over
It's
there.
true.
It's in the forest, I know. Yeah? You like?
I love it, yeah.
Yeah.
How
Cool.
close can we get to the woods though? Andrew, what are you having for lunch?
I need a soup to go for Darlene.
This is the best club sandwich in all of Capreel. Now I'm gonna spray it.
Same thing. You didn't know. Side by side.
Oh, I'm inhaling it now.
Through the eyes of Jamie. Oh boy.
It's hard because like you develop this project for so long and you have these spaces in your brain. A lot of my films are very specifically set in a certain place. Like
Yeah.
Cold and The Water's Fine, they were both like they had to be where they were shot. And the spaces that we picked were so like they just like said so much. So for something so important as this series, like having to decide the locations was really like, I don't know, it just felt like every time you...
It was like casting in a way, really.
Yeah.
It's like another character that you're working with.
But sometimes you'll see that, and sometimes you'll see
Aww.
Again,
As soon as somebody locks me in the basement, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die.
Yeah, it's funny because this was the first location, I guess. Like, this was my first day or second day or whatever with you guys. So this was the first time I was like out there, like tagging along. And I don't know, it's just like the tension was kind of high, but also kind of like,
Mhm.
I don't know. It was just like really exciting still at this point.
Yeah.
I was just happy to be with you.
I was very happy for you to be there too.
Yes! Oh, you do not need to work out.
Ryan and I were just like walking out into the middle of a field to try and see if it could be used for something, and and Andrew was like flying the drone, and he tried to fly it like a little bit lower to like wave at me, and then it like got caught in a tree and like got mangled and falls down, and then there's just like footage of me like towards it picking it up. Like one of the positive aspects of having to look at so many different locations was that we got to get a better sense of the people who actually live in this place and like what kind of stuff they have in their house, like what kind of stuff makes sense for them, and just like I love just talking to the people in that area. Everyone was really friendly, like everyone was really down for a chat. Look how scared I look. And how like
You're not scared. You're like very thoughtful.
very focused. I think I need to work on making my focused face like less look a bit less like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that just happens when we actually know what we're doing for life.
Andrew, what are we doing?
Oh, we're going through the scripts and we're deciding where we're gonna film. And then we've got road stuff with a police cruiser.
Scary stuff?
Cruiser on road, a lot of road stuff, forest stuff. We have a lot to do.
Oh my god, it was such a sanctuary, our little room.
Yeah, I'm so glad I had that space that I could come to, and that like you and me and Ryan could come to, and like that would be the place where I could literally, speak my mind and be emotional. Because like once I left the room, I didn't want to be falling apart. Like
Those like kind of down moments where we could like occasionally have a beer together, or like I'd bring you guys meals while you're like sitting through the little bit of shot listing time you have or whatever. I think once or twice we watched a couple episodes of The Office when you were like really really freaking out. We're like, this is the most common thing we know. That is my truth.
it's hard when you're so young and you're in this position, because I think no matter what, you always think that other people don't think you know what you're doing or don't deserve to be there. And the last thing you want to do is anything to prove that idea right.
It's totally hard for your confidence to not be shaken, because you are like, it's a combination of you are thrown into this huge thing that you haven't really had to deal with before, but also to like stand up and prove like, no, I know what I want and I know what I'm doing, when there's like so much going on and your body's exhausted. Like there's a lot happening. It's really physically and emotionally demanding situation. Mm-hmm. And to do that and to still appear confident and to still like manage the relationships you have with everybody you're working with, it is something you had to figure out. You had to negotiate like how much to be emotional in front of other people. Yeah,
that's such a hard line, because like on one hand, like I totally understand that if you are, if you're working on a project, you want whoever's like at the helm to seem like a together person and isn't like crying and freaking out and like you can put your confidence in them that they know what they want and that like it's going to be a smooth shoot and like you want to work hard for them and stuff. But like totally like denying yourself of having any kind of like emotional vulnerability is so like just flies in the face of what makes me feel like helps me be a good director. I feel like why would I want to like suppress something that I think ultimately helps me do my job?
It's like we never left. It feels like we just did this.
I know.
I just can't believe it. You look so much like your mom.
Why did you kill her?
Dead wife, it has to be the husband, right?
You're my father, and I deserve to know the truth. I don't know who killed my mom. Maybe it was my dad. I just have to know.
They started disappearing 20 years ago. They were found in the wilderness days later. 9 girls.
What happened to Mom was random. Someone was using her to get to these girls.
Go home to your uncle before you dig up something that ought to stay buried.
If your mom's death is related to the others, walk very carefully.